is to help prepare you guys for a short test tomorrow. The last few weeks we've been doing a lot of review on Mondays and then having a short test on Tuesday. We're going to do that again this week. But before we start with the demonstration, what I'd like you guys to do, please, is get out this sheet of paper. It's the moon phase worksheet. So if you don't have one, let us know. We'll get you one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That was really fast. I appreciate it.
Firebox.
Last week, when we had this worksheet, you guys were on the computer and you were letting this little animation move. You had the moon going around the Earth. Guys? What I want to do right now is give you a chance to connect what we did last week to another demonstration. So let's just review what the phases of the moon are. Remember, you always start at, what phase do you always start at?
The new moon.
The new moon, yep, thanks Dallas.
New, that's all you have to remember is it's new. It's a new cycle.
It's a good way to remember
It's a new
it.
beat.
That's where you start, is where it's new. All
There
right,
you go.
guys, come on.
I have to agree.
Guys. After the new moon, you're going to go to the waxing crescent. What does the word waxing mean? Does it mean the moon's light is getting larger or smaller? Means that it's getting larger, yes. So notice that you have some light on the right side, Matt. Then you go to the first quarter, it got larger. Then you go to waxing gibbous, even larger. And then finally you peek at the full moon. Yeah. Okay. After the full moon, the moon begins to wane. Raise your hands. Somebody tell me, what does the word wane mean? Corey? To shrink or get smaller. Yes, thank you.
I have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I need for you to do now is get ready for our demonstration. Because we're going to do a demonstration where you are going to get to see all of these phases of the moon in our demonstration. So what I need you to do is everybody get a moon, Play-Doh moon, on a stick. And Mrs. Khan has them set up. Awesome. So come on over here, guys. Everybody needs a moon on a stick. So what we'll do is we are all going to set up a model where we have the moon, and then we're going to have an Earth, and we're going to have a sun too. So obviously you guys have figured out that the Play-Doh is the moon. We're going to have the sun. What is our sun going to be?
The revolution.
I will give you a clue. We're going outside to do this. What's the sun going to be?
Sun?
The sun. Yeah, the sun's going to be the sun. Now we just need an Earth. What's the Earth going to be? Yes, yeah. The Earth is going to be us. Your head is going to represent the Earth. The reason why your head is going to represent the Earth is because the moon phases are all about our view from the Earth. So from our view on the Earth, we see the moon go through those phases. So the moon looks the same always. If you're if you're not on the Earth, if you're looking at it from the side, the moon always looks the same. But if you're on the Earth, our view changes. So that's why our demonstration is going to be the moon is the Play-Doh ball, the Earth is our head, and the sun is going to be the sun. Remember, the sun stays in one place. And what does the moon do around the Earth? It orbits the Earth. So that's the kind of setup we're going to do. So we're going to go outside and do this. Please bring your moon on a stick, and we're going to do a quick model of the moon phases. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is, remember, we're using the moon as the Play-Doh as the moon. Our head is the Earth, and then the sun is the sun.
Just look at it.
So come over here out of the shade so it's not, doesn't mess up the demonstration. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the moon out in front of you. You're all going to face that way and just do what I'm doing where you hold the moon out in front of you. So turn around, face that way.
Oh!
Watch where I'm I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. It's one of my favorites. You can actually see the shadow. You can see how, from our view on Earth, you see how it looks different to us depending on where the moon is in its orbit around the Earth. So what I'm going to have you guys do now is we're going to practice something that's going to be on the test tomorrow. So I'm going to literally give you a test question right now.
None of the above.
I'm literally going to give you a test question right now. So on the back of this sheet of paper, open your binder to the back of this sheet of paper, and we're going to do some practice on it. Okay. Tomorrow's test will be similar to the other tests in that I ask you some stuff about the moon phases, and then I have the main question that asks you to explain it. This is what it looks like. I want you to explain why we have the phases of the moon. You can use sentences or jot dots, but the success criteria that I want you to include is to include what the moon does, how long this takes, and what our perspective from Earth, or what our viewpoint from Earth has to do with it. So a diagram is helpful, but it's not exactly required. But a lot of people decide to do a diagram. So I'm going to give you guys some time to practice this, and I'll help you get started on the first two. As we remove the moon around our head, our head is where our viewpoint comes from, because our eyes are in our head. So we're looking at it from our viewpoint, which is our head. So what does, like the moon going around it, did you see the light on the moon change when you're moving it around? When you're outside? So it depends on where the moon was, right? If you were right in front of the sun, you couldn't really see anything on it. But if you were on the other side of the Earth and the sun was behind you, what did you see?
I see.
You saw a full moon. So you don't even have to use the word perspective, because perspective just means what we see. Yeah, or our view. Yeah. So I picked this one because you have nice handwriting, and also because it's partially right and partially wrong. So the part you got wrong, no, the part that's wrong, just about everybody has wrong. Okay, it's the hardest part. So that's why I'm picking it, because it's a good example of like what we all need to work on.
I can't do that, that's horrible.
I'm going to adjust it. Is it a little bit better? Can we read it? Can you read it in the back there, Cody?
I'm fine.
Okay, so our question is, why do we have moon phases? And I wanted you to include what the moon does. So right off the bat, he says the moon orbits the Earth. Okay, got that. And it takes 29.5 days to get around the Earth. Okay, so how long it takes was part of the test question. Then the most confusing part of the question is, what does our perspective from the Earth have to do with it? Okay, so the Earth's perspective has to do with where the sun is and where it's lit on the moon. Okay, so that's where you kind of go. So I'm going to cross it out. So the Earth's perspective just means, the word perspective just means our viewpoint, or what we see. So the Earth's perspective has to do with where, I'll draw an arrow down here. It has to do with where the moon is in its
orbit.
Yes. It has to do with where the moon is in its orbit.
How hard is that to...
So the reason why it's hard is because you have to remember that's what you were doing outside, where the moon is in its orbit. Where it is at, so the Earth's perspective has to do with where the moon is in its orbit. I like that depending on where the moon is will change how we see the moon on Earth. Okay? So depending on where the moon is, you use the word decides. I use the word will change. So that will change how we see the moon on Earth. Hey, if you want to make this super excellent exemplary, you could use a, for example, if the moon is opposite the sun, like if it's on the other side of the, opposite the Earth than the sun, if the moon is on other side of Earth, opposite sun, we see a, what phase would we see there? Woo, it's getting messy. For example,
See the moon.
Full moon.
yeah, what phase do we see if the moon is opposite the sun? If we had the sun right here,
Already said
the
it.
Earth, and then the moon, what phase would it be?
Already said it.
I know, but I don't think everybody else is there yet, so I want you to hold on, okay? Did you guys get it?
No.
Yep.
What phase would this be? If the moon is on the other side of the Earth,
It would be the phase of the moon.
if this is the sun, this is the Earth,
New moon.
and this is the moon, what phase of the moon is this right here?
Oh.
Yeah. I heard a few people say it now, Dallas, and then up here. This is gonna be the full moon. We spent some time talking about the flooding earlier in class, so it took up some time. So we'll do a little bit more review tomorrow, but this was one of the main parts of the test. I wanted to give you at least one chance to practice it together. We'll do a little bit more review tomorrow again, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to pack up your binders now.